And so, my dear and patient friend, I will end this long-handed and long-winded epistle. I must be off to class. There are 3 of us here who are brushing up on our art history at the university. The freshmen, I'm sure, think we must have known the Impressionists personally. But I don't mind being my age, not if I can continue living here. Call it retirement if you like, but for me it has been something else. Not a time to leave life behind, but to leap happily into the well-rounded life ahead. Love, Lillian.
The well-rounded life. That Renaissance ideal of mind and spirit fully engaged in the breadth and depth of life. Might that be the plan you have drawn in your mind for your own retirement? Then you'll be in good company in Charlottesville, Virginia. He was the quintessential well-rounded American, Thomas Jefferson, who during his own retirement from political life helped define for future generations a retirement destination of unique character. Jefferson's visionary design for the University of Virginia, a hobby of my old age, he called it, would have far-reaching effects. In time, it would grow into what has been described as America's finest public university. The university would greatly define the social and cultural spheres of an exceptionally livable small city and inspire and invigorate a unique retirement community called Westminster-Canterbury of the Blue Ridge. On a hill in sight of Jefferson's beloved Monticello, on land once owned by Jefferson's family, Westminster-Canterbury has created a community for those seeking to retire not to a life of endless summer and shuffleboard, but to a life of the mind among well-rounded people.
It's amazing, the diversity. Lots of business people, lots of professors, and women too, women doctors. I'm a Methodist minister, which sort of slides in there someplace or other, but the people are wonderful. That makes the place. It absolutely does.
There's an atmosphere here of just friendly old shoe company, and we like it. We like it a lot.
They are retired statesmen and former teachers. There are history makers among them, and homemakers too. They are aficionados, enthusiasts, and connoisseurs, experts, authorities, and virtuosos. Some travel widely. Others enjoy the continual comfort of familiar surroundings. Many are extremely well-read. Their interests, their tastes, their demeanors and constitutions all differ, but they have one thing in common. They are at home at Westminster-Canterbury.
I think that I've never been with such a group of really interesting people. Everyone that lives here has a different life story and a different history, and they've all lived the most interesting lives. And speaking with these people is just an adventure.
A lot of folks have retired from University of Virginia, but people are here from California and New York, Connecticut, and we're from the Virgin Islands, I guess, really. But not just where they come from, but their range of interest and their accomplishments.
On a clear winter morning, with the leaves long departed from the branches, you can see Monticello easily from the grounds of Westminster-Canterbury, and even from the windows of some residences. From its 66 acres on Pantops Mountain on the edge of Charlottesville, Westminster-Canterbury commands a broad view of the Virginia Piedmont. In the far distance, the Blue Ridge Mountains rise and beckon before falling to the Shenandoah Valley. "I am less happy anywhere than there," said Jefferson of his Charlottesville home. It is a sentiment that has echoed down the centuries, one that still resonates today in the minds of Westminster-Canterbury residents. The residences at Westminster-Canterbury. They are places designed to enhance both your inner life and its outward expression in the furnishings, collections, and keepsakes that live with you. Whether you live in an apartment or a totally separate cottage, your residence is a place all your own. Each is private, a place where your tastes and interests, your quirks and foibles can be protected, enjoyed, and further cultivated. in residences whose names suggest their attractiveness and refinement. Monticello and Blue Ridge Apartments, Hillside and Jefferson Cottages. You will find an assortment of locations and floor plans from which to choose. Flexibility in residential choices is important to those who move here, and the range of choices continues to expand. The commitment to the nourishment and enrichment of both body and soul is everywhere in evidence at Westminster-Canterbury of the Blue Ridge. Dining is a matter of choices, not only in the selections on one's plate, but in the ambience of the setting. More formal in the dining room. Casual in the grill. Then there is the feeding of the mind. Even if this were not a college town, the fire of knowledge would burn brightly on Pantops Mountain. Opportunities for learning abound in workshops and classes, lecture programs and roundtables, museum trips and movie screenings. Lifelong learning, the pursuit of both the enjoyable and the mentally stimulating, is not merely a Jeffersonian principle. It is a key determinant in the continuation of brain development, even at advanced ages. Retirement. It is in part about continuing to be oneself in every important dimension, including the physical. Staying well, remaining fit.
And sway them side to side. There you go, side to side.
Westminster-Canterbury is beautifully equipped to allow a wide range of activity and recreation. In a community where maintaining a house and property is no longer a worry, you'll have time and resources at hand for maintaining the soundness of body and mind. Thanks to the continuum of health care offered at Westminster-Canterbury, another change also associated with aging may never be necessary: a move to new surroundings when special care or living assistance are needed. The concept is called life care, and it offers the security of knowing that spouses and friends can always be close, that you or a loved one will always be near those who care about you. And should you require the additional support of catered living or health care, you'll appreciate the fully private accommodations provided at Westminster-Canterbury.
When you make the decision to move into a continuing care community, you will probably have concerns that your lifestyle will change. And actually, Mrs. Morris and I looked at it in a different light. We felt that our lifestyle would continue as it had been. And in fact, it would be enhanced because we would have all the privileges of the way we've lived independently without any of the concerns.
The advantages of life care are an important consideration for anyone choosing Westminster-Canterbury. In fact, one Duke University study has determined that people live 5 to 7 additional healthy years in a continuing care retirement community. Another important lifetime assurance comes from the Westminster-Canterbury Fellowship Fund. The fund provides financial assistance with fees for those residents who might someday find their personal funds exhausted. Residents here have access to Charlottesville's extraordinary health care resources, hospitals that put the area's medical services on a par with those of many larger metropolitan areas. The University of Virginia Medical Center ranks among the nation's leading hospitals in technologically advanced medicine and research. The medical center and an excellent community hospital, Martha Jefferson Hospital, are only a few minutes from Westminster-Canterbury. Minutes away. That's also the distance to a healthy dose of sophisticated urban living on a manageable, comfortable scale. The academical village Thomas Jefferson's Renaissance mind envisioned is now the nucleus of one of America's most well-rounded small cities, recently awarded the designation of #1 place to live in America. With an educational, cultural, and recreational calendar that is as varied and changing as the area's 4 distinct seasons, Charlottesville offers Westminster-Canterbury residents a virtually inexhaustible supply of diversions, indulgences, and resources. Residents partake regularly of regional specialties, wines from excellent vineyards, Shakespeare in the ruins of historic Barboursville, world premieres at the Virginia Film Festival, and live performances at the Paramount Theater and the Charlottesville Pavilion. For those with the need for the occasional embrace of the larger urban area, Richmond is only an hour's drive to the east, Washington, D.C. is 2 hours away. Just as close are 3 international airports for those residents who see the entire globe as their sphere. At any given moment, individuals, couples, perhaps some friends are shaping their dreams and evaluating the realities of the lives that lie ahead of them. They are looking for a community and a circle of new friends and neighbors that fit closely with who they are, how they live, what they believe. They are looking to retire in a way that is defined not by tradition or society or well-intentioned individuals, but by their own hearts and minds. A place to continue to grow and learn, to find new challenges, and to find peace. Jefferson found that place in Charlottesville, on the frontier of 18th century Virginia. In the 21st century, many still find it here. Perhaps you will be among them.
Come in.
Lillian?
Come in. I was just finishing a letter to a friend.
About the trip you're planning?
No, just about everything.